Today we're going to be talking about knowing your product, knowing everything there is to know about your product. And remember, in our last lesson we discussed that a product can be either a tangible, something you hold in your hand, or an intangible service, but we'll still refer to it as a product. It's also important to know your customer. But before we get into either one of these items, let's go ahead and back up a little bit. How does a business plan differ from a marketing plan, and why is a marketing plan important? A marketing plan exists within a business plan, but your marketing plan within the business plan is more of a generalized format. It's usually an annualized item that breaks down that I will spend $1,500 in marketing, 1,000 of which will be TV, 500 of which will be website maintenance and design, or whatever. But it's more of a generic format, and it doesn't necessarily, unless your banker has specifically asked for it, it doesn't necessarily get into the minutia of what you're going to be doing within your marketing processes. In a marketing plan, you're more specific. You get into what you're going to be doing each month. What channels are you going to be working on each month? What goals are you setting for yourself to achieve each month, and how much is it going to cost each month? So it's important to differentiate between the two, because both pieces are very important in the success of a business, but they both have very different purposes. Let's talk about the market research steps. The first step is to define your problem. Second, determine research design. Third, design your research instrument. Fourth, collect your data. And then finally, fifth, analyze and visualize your data. Let's look at each one of these steps more specifically. Define the problem or goal. Well, what are you trying to determine? By listing your specific purpose for conducting your market research, you're going to get much better information. Let's say, for example, you are trying to increase your customer base. Well, if no one knows who you are, then chances are you're not going to increase your customer base. So you need to look more specifically. Do the customers know I exist? And in that case, if the answer is yes, then you might be ready to work on increased customer base. If it's not the case, though, then instead of doing research to determine how you're going to increase your customer base, you might want to focus your research on how you're going to increase brand recognition. Second item is determine research design. So in this, and this is a very important criteria piece, because you need to know how you're going to answer the question that you posed in step 1. Secondary research is online research. That means that you have used information that another party has developed and determined. And it can be very accurate depending upon where you're getting it from and the quantity of research that has been completed. You never want to fully rely on secondary research, though, because it may not give you the full picture. Something else that you might consider is doing a survey. And in that case, who are you going to survey? Are you going to do it online? Are you going to do it via email? Are you going to do it face-to-face? Are you going to go to a mall and ask people to complete it at the mall? So what is it that you would be doing in order to answer the question that you posed in step 1? As you're doing your research, consider that exploratory research is when your topic is not well defined or understood. Maybe you aren't really clear what your need for step 1 is. And in this case, you're going to explore using some different types of research until you can narrow your focus and make a clearer question or goal for step 1. Descriptive research allows you to get quantitative, so numeric data on your specific topic. And casual research includes field tests or experience. And in this case, it's more of the primary research because you're actually having to do the hands-on work to get your answers. Step 3, design your research instrument. So once you know you've gathered your information or you've determined how you're going to gather your information, you're ready to create your tool. If you're going to conduct a survey, then you're going to design that survey. Maybe you're going to conduct secondary research using the internet, so you want to develop a list of questions that you're going to research and find answers for. Maybe how many people live in Twin Falls with an income over $40,000 per year. So those kinds of questions that you want to have answered so that you know that your product is going to have an increased chance of being viable. Or then again, maybe you want to get a group of people together so that you can ask them questions and give them the materials that you're looking at creating and getting their feedback. If you do this a focus group, or if you're asking other people questions, please be sure that you don't just rely on people you know. Not because they won't give you honest answers, but because they may have personalities, backgrounds, experiences similar to your own, and you may not have a broad enough spectrum of input to be able to get an accurate picture of whether you're getting the information that you need. Step 4, collect your data. So you're either going to administer your survey, you're going to run the focus groups, etc., but you're going to go ahead and process. As you're collecting your data, always keep it as generic as format when you're storing it. That way, if you should need to come back at a future time, you can use the information you've gleaned in possibly a different way without having to spend a significant amount of time reconducting the research in order to get the data that you need for a secondary review. 5, analyze and visualize data. So when you first get your data, it's simply a series of numbers or generic information. It's up to you to be able to analyze the data so that you can glean what you need from it. And if you're using the information in reports for others, it helps to put visual aspects in, tables, charts, graphs. It gives the people a quick indicator of what your information is representing. Altogether, though, everything leads back to, does the answers that you get when you have reviewed that data, does it answer the question that you posed in step 1? If the answer is yes, wonderful. You're ready to move forward. If it doesn't answer, then you need to be able to determine where the holes are in your research and go back and conduct additional research to fill those holes in so that you have a clearer picture. Let's discuss some key marketing principles. Specialization. What is the specialization for your business? What do you specialize in? And it may or may not have anything to do with the specific product that you're selling. McDonald's, for example, yes, they sell food, but that's not what they specialize in. They specialize in selling to people who want to eat quickly at a low price. Keep in mind that as you are working on the different marketing aspects for your business, you want to paint one clear path, one clear specialization that people get into their minds as they think about your business. It may or may not be the specific product, but it may be, instead, it may be something around your product that creates a unique feel. Differentiation is our next product. And for this area, the most critical aspect is your unique selling proposition, USP. It's an important acronym. What is it that makes you superior? Why are you more excellent? Why are you the best at what you do? Why does someone want to do business with you? So you need to be able to answer that. Segmentation. Who are the people that are going to buy from you? What are their demographics and psychographics? Their goals, ambitions, wants, needs, motivations, hopes, dreams, aspirations, fears, doubts, worries. Woo. The more you know about your customers, better you're going to be able to focus on how to meet their needs or how to create their needs. I'm sure we've all seen people who have purchased things that may not have been critical, and in fact you may be one of those people. I know my mother is. And the idea is, what is it about her background that a marketer has been able to target in order to create the need in her to purchase the specific item? And that's not just for my mother, although she tends to buy anything and everything she sees on television, but this is for anyone. What is it about your customer that you are going to be able to connect with? The fourth principle is concentration. So once you've figured out your specialization, your differentiation, your segmentation, then you're going to concentrate on that focus. So you're going to spend your time, you're going to spend your money, you're going to spend your resources on that target area that you have determined. Once you know your customer, inside and out, everything about that customer, then you'll know the best ways to reach them and the best possible media options. Where do you do your online research? Well, there's lots and lots of places. And I'm going to be posting some information from the library, but they were a little busy during week 1, so I'm hoping I can catch up with them during week 2 and get some suggestions for you from them by then. Bleh. But in the meantime, the census, the government census is a great start, and we'll take a look at that now. www.census.gov is the location for our census. You can look up people and break it down. You can break it down by state. You can break it down by county, by city. Let's take a look, though, at business patterns. So I'm going to skip straight to Twin Falls, 83301. I'm going to put that in the zip code and click Go. And this brings up a table that has already some good information. So the number of business establishments within the 83301 area code, the 83301 zip code, and 2010 is the last year that they have, is 1,929 businesses. So then I can scroll down and I can see the breakdown of the different businesses. So let's look at retail trade. We can click on Detail, and it will bring up the breakdown of how the retail companies are formatted, whether they're new cars, used cars, boat dealers, furniture stores, etc., etc. Taking a look at furniture stores, we can drill down further, and we can see that there are 10 furniture stores in Twin Falls, and we can see how many employees the 10 stores have. We can see that there's one store in Haley and it has 1 employee, one in Shoshone and it has 1 employee. So if I were marketing, let's say I had a business in Twin Falls, I was opening or owned a furniture store in Twin Falls, I would likely market to the other cities instead of marketing to Twin Falls directly, because they have more limited options. Now they also have a smaller target audience, but I should be able to find a way, either newspaper advertising or newspaper inserts, door to door, Chamber of Commerce events, different things that I can do, partnering with other businesses in the town. Things that I can do in order to get my name out there and increase the sales for my company, my furniture company, where there's less competition. If I come back, I can get into people. And maybe I want to determine the age and sex. I can look over all information, or I can get more specific, very quickly by going to Data, Quick Facts, Idaho, and then I just want Twin Falls County. And very quickly I can see the population estimate. I can see households. I can see the median income. And I can see the per capita income. So I'm assuming that there's approximately 2 people per household. Secondary research is great. Give you a lot of information, but nothing beats primary research. And you definitely want to make sure that you include primary research as you're learning about your customers. You can conduct focus groups, you can do surveys. You don't have to get together with them online or in person. You can do online. You can do via mail. You can ask people to ask other people and spread word of mouth. There are things that you can do in order to expand your reach just by asking those that you come in contact with.